Yeah, hello, my very good friends. I remain your humble Mr. Lawrence Chikezie. Yes, let me say happy new month for the month of March 2025. Um, Today, I want to dwell in something I love most soccer. I want to talk about soccer. As most of you know me, I am a big fan of the Chelsea Football Club in the Premier League. But having said that, I'm generally a lover of soccer football. I love soccer. I love soccer. You know, that's why I want to talk about soccer. And as a young man growing up in those days, I've always followed soccer, played soccer, did what all I could do like a young man. And I used to go watch so many soccer uh, uh, leagues back home then as a young man. We used to have play teams, big teams in Nigeria, like the Enugu Rangers of Enugu. We used to have the ICC Football Club of Ibadan. We used to have teams like the Sharks of Port Harcourt. We used to have the stationary stores of Lagos. We used to have the Bender Insurance of Benin. We used to have teams like the BCC Lions of Boko. We used to have teams like um, uh, uh, the teams like the Kano Pillars of Kano. We have great teams like the then came a team uh, named as known as the New Nigerian Bank of Benin that came and dominated every one of them. Most of you, I don't know, most of you who remember that story those days when Stephen Keshes and Henry Wosus and the likes of them played for New Nigerian Bank of Benin, how they dealt with some of the big teams. Then we also have the ACB Football Club of Lagos. Then just got, just to name a few, these are great club sides in Nigeria that made us proud. They made my day. I used to remember when we used to have rival teams, ICC of Ibadan playing against Enugu Rangers, rival teams between stationary stores of Lagos playing against uh, ACB Banks of Lagos. Then the Ben Insurance knocking head with New Nigerian Banks of Benin, Sharks of Port Harcourt going against Kano Pillars. Man, they made our days when the soccer has continued to evolve. Soccer in Africa has continued to grow. This, these things produce great players. And Africa has lacked in producing talent in soccer. Now, if we want to still, then I want to go into the area of what has brought me forward today. It's about the AFCON, our Nations Cup tournament. AFCON. Yes, just sometime this week, um, one of these British former Liverpool player, in person of Jimmy Carragher, the guy that played for Liverpool for so many years and was also featured in the British national team when he came with I won't call that a controversial statement. I call that an insult. He came to make a comment trying to diminish our own, our AFCON tournament. He said the AFCON tournament is not a major tournament. So one begins to wonder where he got such source to make such a very diminishing statement. Now, uh, even if he's ignorant, he should have known better. The AFCON is our nation's cup. Yeah, just like what happened in Europe where we used to have the European Nations Cup. AFCON is like the Copa America that goes on in South America. AFCON is like the Asian soccer tournament that goes on in Asia. So why would such a man who has played soccer all his life make such comments? Well, just like any other soccer uh, lover, they will say it's an act of ignorance, it's an act of stupidity, act of foolishness. When someone wants to remain relevant, he wants to remain relevant. After playing for Liverpool for so many years and could not be able to win the Premier League for Liverpool, he also played at the national team, the English national team, and was unable to accomplish any victory win any tournament for the British side. So all he does now was go to his podcast radio and try to remain relevant by by saying things to undermine others. But all I have to say here is that AFCON tournament is a major tournament. It's something that every one of us look forward to. Now, formerly it used to be every 4 years. I remember years back as a young man, we used to have the Green Eagles. The Green Eagles that that the players like Christian Chuku, the mathematical Shego Digbami, the the whole the Owo Blue. We have the Okalas. We have players like Adoka Masemeka, and just name them all. They were able to win the Nations Cup in 1980 as the Green Eagles then, before they now upgraded the name to the Super Eagles that came along with the likes of Stephen Keshi Eras, Auguste Guavons, Ucho Kichkus, Ucho Kalfos, name them. And they went on also to go and win the Nations Cup for the second time, you know. So, having said that, um, the Nations Cup tournament is something that we all look forward to. The AFCON tournament is something that every African man, both young and old, women who love soccer, both young and old, look forward to. Everybody want to see their country come there and dominate that tournament and go home with the prize trophy, which is the Nations Cup trophy. Just recently, the Ivorian national team, won the AFCON tournament, by beating our own Super Eagles at the finals. Now, so it's a major tournament. It's a major tournament that produced so many, players in terms. Do you want to talk about Abedi Pele, the Roger Millers, the Stephen Keshes, the Rashidi Yekinis, um, the players like great players um, like George Weahs, great players like Etos himself, so the JJ Okochas, um, just name them. The kind of one calls. Players like this Cameroonian blood, Roman Biik and the brothers. Eh? The Nkono, the keeper, the great Nkono, the great player, goalkeeper known as Nkono of Cameroon. No, I don't know where to start. The African soccer has evolved. It has evolved that it has continued to produce great players, great players upon great players. That even right now, globally, we have African players who are dominating the global league across the world. If you go to the European League, we have great African players who has been there before. The Drugbas, they named them all. They dominated it. The George Weahs, the Victor Gbebas, name so many African players who has been there. They dominated the European tournament, the European leagues. So for such a man to have come to say that AFCON is not a major league, a major tournament, I think he is just trying to make himself relevant. He looked at it, it's just like looking at it and wanted to buy himself a market so that people will talk about him. Just like Okocha will say, Okocha says people should not even pay attention to him. That he even said he was asking some of those boys who were with him. Okocha said, "Hi, as a father, who would want to have his son be like Jimmy Carragher as a soccer player?" They all started laughing. He had no career. He had nothing to show off. He couldn't win a Premier League while playing for Liverpool. So what was his achievement as a soccer player? So the only thing he could do now is talk. Talk, talk, talk. He had nothing to show. He has nothing to show apart from the Champions League that he won with Liverpool. That's the only thing. But he was not able to win the Premier League throughout his career in soccer. So the only thing he want to say is that is to take on AFCON and then wanted to make name for himself. But we won't give it to him. We will not give it to him. We'll take back our pride. We are proud of our African tournament. We are proud of our African players. Go to Europe now and see how African black players are dominating most of the club sides. Look at France. 99% of the players who are playing in France today are African players. African players. And they are the ones that won. 99% of those African players were the ones that won the World Cup, FIFA World Cup for France. So, what does this mean? What does it mean? Eh? As of recent, the African players are still dominating the European the Europe League. Is it Serie A, the Premiership League, the Premier League, or is it in the German League? The African players are doing what they do best. They remain relevant. So uh, Jimmy Carragher or Jimmy Carragher, whatever I call himself, you cannot take away our pride. You can't take away what is ours. Our Nation Cup, our Afghan League is a major league, just like the Copa America in South America, just like the European Nations Cup, just like the Asian soccer tournament that they play. So go and check yourself. Let him go and review himself and check what is wrong with him. You should not use our Afghan tournament uh, to try to remain relevant on the social media or on his podcast. So I say to you, we are proud of our AFCON. We are proud of our African players. We are proud of our Nations Cup. We are proud also of our club size, back home. Now, but having said this, I still want to use this opportunity to call the attention of CAF. Yes, CAF, please. Um, I'm recommending, or do I say, I'm suggesting that CAF should make it compulsory that every country's national team must at least give a slot, at least 3 slots, at least a maximum, minimum of 3 local players to the national team. They should make sure that they make it compulsory that at least 3 players who play for the local club size, at least 3 players are given a slot in the national team. Because if you look at our national team these days, most of the African national teams, they all come with their foreign professionals to dominate the tournament. But I think the only way to encourage our local club size in Africa is for CAF to make sure they made that regulation to enable some of these local players who play back home to also have the opportunity to play at the national club side, at the national team, in a tournament like that. That will boost the morale so that they will have something looking forward to. And that will increase their opportunities in trying to perform more at the club side so that they can be selected for the team. So I'm suggesting that CAF should do something. They should make it mandatory that every national team must give at least 3 players from the local clubs have a chance to be part of the national team. So I think this is part of what I would recommend for CAF, and I will say I'm proud to be an African. I'm proud to love my African soccer teams. I'm proud to love my African soccer club size, and I am proud to say CAF, AFCON, you are doing well. We are proud of AFCON as our major tournament that we look forward to every 2 years. Thank you, and you all remain blessed. Thanks.